Okay, guys, so in this episode, we're actually not going to catch any fish. So I'm going to go ahead and let you know that right now. This ended up being a skunk trip. I headed down to Versailles, Kentucky. I had some work I needed to do down there, and I've got a good friend who goes by One Legged Fool, who is another kayak angler like myself. So I drove down here and I did my job, and we did end up fishing, but unfortunately, we didn't catch anything, at least not enough to make a video. So instead, this video is going to show you how I make the cursed chicken. Stay tuned. Hope you like it. Should also mention that this video is going to show you the largest Krogers that I have ever seen in my life.
We gotta get some bait, and I got pretty much one day to fish because One-Legged Fool is working, so he's not going to be able to fish tonight. So I'm going to go ahead and go get the old cursed chicken. Sunset is absolutely killer out here though, but that is the biggest Kroger's I've ever seen in my entire life. So let's go in here and see if we can find some chicken thighs. Yeah, I stand by my previous statement. This is the biggest day on Kroger's I've ever seen. Got their own Starbucks in here. A sushi bar. Like, that's a whole restaurant inside of the Kroger's. And everybody around probably thinks I'm crazy walking around filming a daggone Kroger's, but ain't nothing like this back home. We got the chicken thighs, that's what we came for. We're gonna walk around this Kroger's a little bit because I can't just ignore the fact that I'm in a Kroger's this big. I wonder if a Kroger's got an electronics section. You've officially hit the beach. You got a Kroger's that has Carhartt and an entire apparel section in it. My God, they do have an electronics section. Yeah, I would have never expected that from a Kroger's. This place is wild. I know this sounds super stupid because I'm amazed by Kroger, but like, this is what Walmart is back home. So I'm just kind of taking it all in. Alright, so we're not going to do any fishing today, and because I actually respect the place that I'm staying when I'm out here for work, I'm not trying to make this bait in my room. So I'm going to make it here in the parking lot, and I'm going to show you guys what the cursed chicken recipe entails. So first thing you need is your chicken. You need something to put the bait into, so a Ziploc bag. I normally have a Tupperware container, but where I'm probably throwing this in the trash when I'm done, the Ziploc bag makes sense. Just make sure that it is a good Ziploc bag and it doesn't leak. And last but not least, you need the fish oil from Rexall, or however you pronounce that. Make sure that it's natural, not coated. I don't know why, but it does make a difference. So I normally have a cutting board at home I do this on, and I'm not willing to do it on the bait cooler, so we're just going to go ahead and use a knife to open a knife. Almost tried to cut through a cutting board. That would have been comical. So just like that, we got our cutting board out, and we got 2 knives with the cutting board. This thing was like $8 too, so this wasn't a bad gig at all, honestly. So we're gonna save 1 knife for cutting the chicken, 1 knife for piercing the actual fish oil. Put that to the side. Open your chicken and get your cutting board ready. Now, I prefer the chicken thighs. Other people may prefer the chicken breast because you do get more meat out of a chicken breast, but a chicken thigh is just tougher, in my opinion. And I cut it into pieces. There's no direct signs to it. Some pieces are smaller than others. Some pieces are bigger than others. But you want to cut them into sizable chunks. I guess the best way to say that is like cut them into chunks that make sense to put on your hook. Now you got all your chicken chunks cut up. You get your fish oil. Your container, whether it's a Tupperware container or in my case, Ziploc bag. Let's go ahead and open that. And while we're doing it in the bag, it doesn't matter so much. And I'm trying to make enough bait for me and one-legged, so luckily one single container should be more than enough. It's up to him if he wants to use it, but I don't know what his bait situation is. So we'll split it 50-50. Here's the thing, chicken's a good bait when you can't get bait, or bait is limited for you. It's not a substitute for fresh cut bait. It's not a substitute for live bait. It's what I call it is a last ditch resort. Now I have caught big fish on chicken, so I'm telling you, you can catch big fish on chicken. I'm just saying you're more likely to catch it on something that is native to that body of water. And personally, I'm convinced that the chicken bite is a reaction bite. Personally, that's how I feel. And to be honest, I hate handling raw chicken. I can't stand it. Alright, so we got our 2 bait bags there. Our fish oil capsule. This is the most time consuming part, honestly. And if you got a faster way for me to do this, please feel free to let me know in the comments. Now, I've tried the fish oil that you buy from Walmart. It doesn't do the same. This stuff right here is the ticket. I'll just start with a pile or a little knife for the fish oil, like I said. Cut it and just squeeze it in there. Throw the capsule and all in there too. Try and get that bag to sit up right. So all I'm doing is piercing the fish oil capsule and squeezing it in there, dropping the capsule in. Don't worry, I'm not going to make y'all sit and watch all this. So now we got all the chicken cut up, all the capsules done. Just take and you mix it all together in that bag. Now, you typically want to make this between like 12 and 24 hours before your fishing trip. You want to give it time for the chicken and the oil to, really soak in with each other. And me personally, and some people might get grossed out by this, I prefer to leave it sit out at room temperature, or if I can, like if I made it that morning and I know I'm going fishing that night, I'll let it sit out in the sun. Now, just as an extra precaution, we're going to double bag these. Just like that. Me and one-legged got bait for tomorrow. Like I said before, guys, raw chicken is nothing to play around with. So much so that I keep soap in the kayak. Always keep soap in the kayak. I keep some kind of water. This water right here is just for this. That's the only reason this jug stays in the back of my truck. Now that we got the bait situation figured out, I am going to head back to the hotel. Well, hotel, Airbnb, it's the place I sleep. And start working on editing this video. But by the next time you guys see me, it'll be me and one-legged on the water on the Kentucky River.
Alright guys, so unfortunately, just like the thumbnail says, this was a skunk trip. But I did enjoy the absolutely gorgeous scenery of the Kentucky River. And I enjoyed hanging out with my man One-Legged. I hadn't seen him since CatCon. It was nice to see the body of water he normally fishes. But if you did get something out of this, don't care, go ahead and leave a like, a comment, and don't forget to subscribe. And I'll be fishing with one-legged again. I work in Versailles on a regular basis, so make sure that you stay tuned, and I hope you enjoyed the cursed chicken recipe at least. See you next time.